Hunter Hunter Chapter 388 Deliberation. Will they be able to learn Nen? Okay, everyone is learning Nen together. Okay. Is it really okay to let him have free reign like this? It couldn't be helped. Learning Nen is our top priority. But this situation was specifically what they were after. Then we would have fallen right into their plans. If whatever they're planning is against us, they might try something like manipulating you or forcing you to act according to their will. But if any manipulation through Nen is tried, we will stop it. After which, we will restrain Bill and Karapika immediately, just as we had warned them previously. If we keep surveillance tight and watch carefully, we will know whether or not someone is being controlled. Being that this is also a matter of security, I would like you to entrust this to me. Well, I believe this to be a bit overkill and heavy-handed. Seeing that you are the first prince's elite soldiers, I shall leave it to you. If I want to figure out Karapika and Bill's abilities, I can't exactly just let them run free and completely unchecked. In the present circumstances, it would seem that he's using some ability from within that room that he can't let be seen for whatever reason. Or he's just trying to completely cut us off from information, including any hint at what he might be doing. And they have 3 guards. But if in this short period of time, that woman, Legolas, comes out actually being able to use Nen, they won't know he's not trying to take control of us or something like that. All these participants still lack enough training to have their aura nodes be forcefully opened without incurring real damage. The only possibility would be a method using some manipulator type ability to semi-force them to open. But if that is the case, then the user's aura, in this case Karapika's, would be mixed in with theirs. With so many samples to observe, I would definitely notice if any of them were being manipulated by Karapika's aura. But Karapika is a specialist. If we consider that a byproduct of him activating his ability is awakening Nen in his target, then I could understand the basis behind Karapika's seamlessly rock-solid confidence in his time limit. If that is the case, then the only thing we would have verified is that Karapika is in fact a specialist, and that his ability condition for activation is giving someone Nen abilities. He's using that to give us all Nen, so that he can use us as tools to prolong the life of the prince and queen he's defending. He'll have pulled it off. And although incredibly unlikely, we can't ignore the possibility that he's doing all of this to mislead us from the fact that Bill is in fact the one with the actual ability. We need to be careful and proceed slowly, collecting what information we can. I agree. Just as you said, if we rush in, we'll just be digging our own graves. I got to acknowledge this. He's a formidable foe. Is that our walkie-talkies? Yes. They are the first prince's private guard and carry authorization as such. But before I entrust anything to them, I wanted to just reconfirm the prince's orders. Yes. Creak, and they open the door. I was looking. We got the maid coming out. He's looking at her aura. Her aura flow has clearly increased. This is the state of someone that has entered the stage of having gained Nen and being able to control it. Without any prior knowledge, it should normally take a year of practicing the fundamentals every single day for at least 3 hours to reach this point. Well, I can't judge based on just one person. I don't believe she's being manipulated. How is it? Her other friends are asking. You did the water divination ceremony, right? Can't say anything about it right now. I'm sorry. Karapika? In order to avoid any bias or preconceived predictions, and keep a rigid, fair, and impartial judgment, I'm requesting everyone to please not speak about their individual results until after everyone is finished. In the event that anyone breaks that request, I reserve the right to end training right then and there. So I'd like for you all to cooperate with me on this matter. Okay, got the guards looking at each other. Appears as though the third prince's private soldier, Tenfutori, will be the last to be examined. You probably intend to use the upper-ranked prince's bodyguards to deter any intentional rule breaking, right? If anyone did try to break the rules, to interrupt and end the training. Even if it were me, the person responsible would be prosecuted. Mayor, you're next. Okay, Mayor's going in. Consider your age. I really must condemn the speed at which, or commend the speed at which you made your way through the training. Both you and Rongi mustn't speak about any of this for the duration of this time period. Is that right? I see. So even if we discover his strategy, or the means by which he's doing this, we can't do anything against him. Very well. But if I feel that I'm in danger, then we reserve the right to end all of this ourselves. Of course. Now then, please step inside. We'll go inside. There's a table with a vase and a cup. You got the queen and prince. There's something in the cup, okay? Move right along. Starting now, everything I say will be the truth. Of course, that doesn't mean you're required to believe me. Our main priority above all else is protecting the lives of the 14th Prince Wobble and 8th Queen Oito. In order to achieve that, we are sharing nin abilities and knowledge of them with all of you. So then, when you said you wanted to create a stalemate in power until we made land, that wasn't a lie. Precisely. Why would you doubt? The water divination ceremony was originally a way for those that had acquired nin to discern what type of nin ability they had. But today, we're using it as a means to prove that nin abilities have been awakened in you. Inside this cup, there's a plant seed. Normally, we would never place something different like this in it beforehand. But to be frank, we have no other option, which is why we're doing it this way. Continue. Just as I outlined over the last week, nin abilities are something that anyone is capable of attaining. The speed at which people pass through the training will be different from individual to individual. Furthermore, it is not something that can be gained overnight. Okay, Karapika is doing his nin thing. There's an alternative method to forcefully acquire nin. Receiving a nin attack. It's like, I fully understand your reservations and consciousness. I swear that I will not harm you. Here we got, I'm guessing, the 3 students and a teacher. Being an alternative method is frowned upon and quite taboo, so the word attack is used as a convenience to dissuade against it. But actually, this nin attack also includes healing abilities and lending abilities. You see, Bill, huh? Bill does the thing, splashes over. What? Bill is an enhancer type nin user. By using Hatsu, he's able to stimulate and hasten growth in his target. So it just buds. He looks in it. Oh, shocking. So then you're saying if you hold your hands over me like you did that seed, you can awaken abilities within me as well. Not quite. If I did that, effects to those still untrained or lacking enough would be weak, and we would be unable to deliver the results promised within the time limit. Bill is going to lend his powers to me, and then I, in turn, will lend them to you. Does that accumulate? Although I shouldn't be telling you this, this is an indirect attack. Officially, I'm a specialist with a lending type ability that in and of itself is not an attack ability. Pulling out chains. Then, but when I activate it, it has a secondary effect of semi-forcing Nen abilities to awaken in someone without them. If you don't consent to what I've explained up until now, I won't use my ability. You can just open the door, say I'm resigning, and leave the room. I would like for you to keep everything I told you here a secret. I'm aware that I can't force you to. Creek? Okay, so we actually went through it. He goes out. Look at him. I'm almost completely certain. There's no way that he's being manipulated. Both Legolas and Mayor are now ready to use Nen. What Karapika did was true, or what Karapika said was true. So then, this confirms that Karapika used his specialist ability to cause their Nen awakening. That's most likely only one of many abilities he has. He's looking at chains. The information he's deliberately giving out is that he's actually restraining us and keeping us from acting. If I assume his abilities are split up into 5, just like his 5 fingers, then in truth, we still don't know a thing about his abilities. Depending on today's training, I believe a few more people will reach the water divination ceremony. In regards to getting abilities, the most important part begins now. Nen that will act as a deterrent to assure our mutual goal of stalemate. It is essential for a Nen user to have another Nen user believe they are one at first glance. If your appearance comes off that way, then your opponents will equip themselves with the appropriate defense powers. So then does this mean he wasn't lying about anything he said? That's right. It's the truth. How incredible. I can feel myself overflowing with vitality. I can feel this aura rising up around me like a warmth. I can also tell that if it were to run out, I would be completely out of energy. I need to synchronize my breathing with it, and then stop it as if I were holding my breath. Perhaps I should imagine myself closing off my pores, and then little by little begin to let my breath out in a long exhale. Just looking over him. From his appearance, there seems nothing out of the ordinary. He seems like someone progressing along with his training. But looking at the large amount of aura, just doesn't match up with him. If this is an act, it's not the level 1 could accomplish through a trick just by manipulating someone. This is absolutely top class skill. If a soldier with a high level of combat skill were to have that much aura, I'd be forced to be on my guard, just as if you realized you were physically outclassed by your opponent. Is Karapika intending to continue on this course for a second or third time? Or perhaps he's looking for an excuse to stop it. Karapika goes in with his syringe. It's one of the maids. Currently, you and I are linked through Karapika's ability. Dolphin comes out. The Halcyon ability I've been loading with will now be transferred from Karapika to you, Miss Yuri. If you concentrate on activating it, then you will be able to do the same thing Bill did. So she's doing the water definition thing, overflowing it. The aura is being lent to you, so it's not your own ability, but now you have been awoken. So if you master 10 and Hatsu through your breathing exercises, then, without anyone finding out, you can do the water divination ceremony on your own and discover your own Nen typing. It's like, huh? So then what about all your explanation earlier? I couldn't explain all the complicated details out there. Besides, I wanted to know just how much resolve everyone had. I wanted to do everything in my power to ensure that Not one more person on board falls victim to this succession war. Well, that's too late. In order to accomplish that, I want to spread this power to as many people as possible, and plan to run this training a second and third time. If you could tell that to 10th Prince Kacho and 6th Prince Siaiko, I would greatly appreciate it. Yes, sir. Thank you. Bill's looking, Indeed, at the present moment, Karapika's strategy is the best, but I've seen the honorable and poor corrupted into greedy, power-crazed despots. After achieving wealth, oh so many times, it's impossible to predict what will happen from here on out. People are so easily changed by power. Yeah. All the more so when when their interests align. My own power isn't suited for battle, and Karapika's is most likely the same way. If the tension should break and give way to the unstoppable succession war, then we may end up being crushed by the power that we ourselves granted everyone. That brings today's classes to an end. Do you have some trump card up your sleeve? I don't have to confirm it. Of course you do, don't you? Still, to quell this unpredictable dilemma and bring things this far without boiling over is already quite a feat. Karapika looks over to Bill. Bill, thank you. You have my gratitude. Huh? Where did that come from? It's rare for a male to be an enhancer with a support type ability, since most of them would choose to take it in a direction where they could increase their battle power. Normally, I would have certainly preferred to not have your power found out by them. Oh, that's what you mean. Well, it was for our strategy, and you took the initiative and revealed your own ability. So it's not like I was about to not reveal mine, right? Are you okay still going down this path? There still is the possibility that we may not reach the goal we're trying for. You're right. We got the Queen and Prince in bed. Although we boarded the ship under Beyond's orders, in order to make it to the new continent, we chose room 1014 on our own. The prince was just a baby, so I didn't think he'd get wrapped up into any severe battles. Then the succession war began. Everything descended into chaos. And though I talked and acted strong, in reality, I was lost. And then I didn't know what to make of trying to escape from a place I chose for a disgraceful reason. And that's when Vincent, the first prince's assassin, arrived. And even he couldn't stand me. After all, I was a coward who only made my decision after arguing with you and the queen. Cowards don't make decisions. They don't resolve themselves, Bill. Karapika, they come in. Instead of Tenfutori, I was thinking of taking their place and going first to do the water divination. After all, I feel it best that one of us gets their powers awakened as soon as possible. Your instinct is probably right. That rumbling just isn't normal. Everyone that can use Nen should have felt to threaten it. I wouldn't be surprised if something were on the move, trying to take measures into their own hands. But, Ashito, you haven't gone through the training of the fundamentals like the other participants. Therefore, although after awakening you may temporarily be powerful, more powerful than even the others, you'd surely thereafter be stricken by fatigue and exhaustion to the point that you wouldn't even be able to stand. To be honest, I did want to have my power awakened. There's just the concern that all this could still be some kind of trap. Train the fundamentals of Nen, huh? My bodyguard shift has been lengthened, so maybe I should give it a go too. Therefore, at the present moment, the 14th prince and the third prince are bound by a very tight peace treaty, but it is temporary, and it isn't the most equal alliance. So there are openings to exploit. The Nen acquisition was actually true. We have definitive proof, which means we should have everyone acquire this mighty power. Got the scientists? Okay, well done. As for the treaty, negotiate to maintain it. As far as Nen goes, you are taking a rather proactive stance that we should learn it. Yes, the risk of a trap is almost zero. Furthermore, I believe if we continue with the stance of trust and faith that regarding the treaty, they will sympathize with our sentiments, and it should develop naturally. Understood. If there are any additional classes requested, we'll give our consent. I'll leave the personal selection to you. Yes, sir. Though he's open and honest with his strategy meanings, the prince's Nen beast lurking in the back doesn't show itself at all. I want to use your ability to slaughter the 9 prince's Nen beast with certainty. For now, restrain yourself, don't act rashly. Indeed, it is a sound argument, but should we really be wasting time right now to go after the ninth prince so urgently? Fifth prince, Tupas, or Tebetas, Nen beast still hasn't shown itself, which means it's guarding its safety even more than 9th Prince Harkenberg's. But by that rationale, no matter where I am, the risk is the same. If I don't figure out the enemy's ability on my own, I won't be able to raise a predator. If we continue avoiding all risk and danger, then I won't be able to display the true specialty of this ability. It's not just that. It's that aura of Mayor's. He's at the final stage where his aura nodes are opened, and he's able to use Nen abilities, but compared to his state this morning, it's such an enormous leap. It's like breathing. That Karapika person, it seems he truly is aiming to spread fighting strength to everyone in order to cause an equilibrium. Though he may be a beginner, depending on his ability's nature, he could still pose a threat against a top-class user. That is the power of Nen. Furthermore, having a clear, precise goal of waiting to defend the prince will have a profound effect upon the nature of their Nen abilities. An ability that discovers the ability of the ability of your enemy. An ability that counsels the ability of your enemy. An ability that steals the ability of your enemy. It's inevitable that I'm going to wind up facing numerous opponents with abilities similar in style to mine. This only increases the risk of just standing back and watching. If I'm going to act, the sooner the better. What I really want is to use my predator to eliminate Karapika, but in order to do that, I would have to fulfill the condition of figuring out what all 5 of the abilities that I've hypothesized he has are, and that's just not realistic. Predator acts on its own. On top of that, it's ill-matched against opponents with multiple abilities, particularly counter types, which it has no means of evading, whereas up against an enhancer or an emitter, they themselves do become the target, but they're able to turn the tables around a lot. They're far from invincible, but they have a spray and pray method on their side. They can just keep attacking, and with enough tries, eventually one will hit. Besides, my ability requires 24 hours to recharge, unlike the aforementioned spray and pray, which, if it connects, will certainly kill. If that's so, then I shouldn't be going after 5th Prince Tebepa, but 9th Prince Hulkenberg. even though there's a risk involved. If Hulkenberg makes a move, room 1009 is an optimal location for me to let loose my ability, revealing as little as possible about myself while discovering the opponent's ability. If I can manage that on my own, then Predator will grow strong and powerful. But if I use other soldiers to do my work while I hide in safety, the Predator that's born will be weakened, and it will raise the risk that it may not be able to take out its prey. I have a massive wealth of experience to draw from in order to calculate the risk and timing. When making decisions in life and death situations, suddenly everyone has confidence in what they're doing. I can understand this coming from a commander of an army, a man using experience gained over his long years on the battlefield to carefully consider the actions of his entire unit and give the most prudent order. But what's so prudent or careful about an assassin committing suicide? Was there a manipulator somewhere nearby? Or perhaps Hulkenberg's Nen Beast is a manipulator type? Figure out. Lehan? Do it yourself. Why did you give the order to stay prudent? Perhaps your assessment of the enemy's ability is wrong. That would taint anything I try to verify afterwards, making it all unreliable. Your ability's crux is that you can't ask for advice or counsel. There must be a hint. If the assassin is a manipulator, then I must be able to find a lead from there. But if he hasn't been manipulated, then does that mean they have an ability that made the assassin choose death by his own will? The only thing I can think of is some kind of body swap. If his aura was so massive that it caused a rumbling like that, then surely, if we were to target someone with his ability alone, they would have an exceedingly slim chance of winning, unless he gave up his own life in exchange for the guarantee of safety. He gave up his own life in exchange for the guarantee of safety for the first prince. No, that's impossible. The assassin would know that Sir Benjamin, first prince, despises things like begging for one's life more than anything else. Text. It's exceedingly simple. Prince Celcel, consumed as he is the narcissism and the desire to express it, would never miss out on performing live over just a little bad fit health. He's the kind of man that would gladly broadcast himself, even if he were so ill that he couldn't even move. Also, he can bask in the role of the tragic main character. Yet he didn't choose either option, which means Prince Celcel is dead. And then there's First Prince Benjamin's private guard rotation. This leads us to one solution, that the assassination was carried out by Prince Benjamin's private guard, and the next target is me. He was calculating everything. First, I need to find out Prince Celcel's cause of death. If I can confirm that it was an assassination by means of Nen ability, I can pull up a listing of possible abilities that could have done the deed and come up with a countermeasure. If I give that information and mission to those who have had abilities awakened in them, it may grant effects on the ability that they ultimately acquired. So he has a flash drive. Hassan, please deal with this. Yes, sir. I want to investigate the shifts of Prince Benjamin's private guard. I need to give a good enough excuse to ensure I don't invite the suspicion of the kingdom's legal offices. I must be careful. Is your mother's private guard, the one watching over Prince Celcel, not hear anything regarding room 1008? Information is bound to get leaked to Camilla. But if I could learn of the cause of of his death and the situation surrounding it all at once. I'll negotiate directly with Mother myself. There's a lot of risk in me making direct contact with the second Queen's family guard. There's no way that Mother would have made any decision without discussing it with my sister first. If she's given the okay, I should have considered that this might have been Sister's plan as well. Mayar still isn't seeking any kind of defense against net abilities, but she would have needed some kind of a partner. No matter what, Karapika, temp day, 11:30 a.m. Something's coming through. The fourth rumbling. The interval between them is shrinking, widely piercing through an ominous rumbling. This was a very text-heavy chapter. So he's awakening. I don't know. So he's taking them in the back room one by one, tell them the truth, hoping that they don't spill the beans, and if they do, he just ends the class. And everyone's like awakening their abilities, because he's quote unquote attacking them, which he's like not actually harming them. And then feels like using an ability like sprout life from a seed. He's giving the dolphin to. It's like he took the dolphin, or he's used. I don't know. He's transferred Bill's ability to him, and then it to the student, causing them to awaken or start to awaken. They leave. Karapika thanks Bill for everything he's doing. It's like it's rare for like a guy to have like a support Nan ability. He didn't think he was like what he was doing was gonna involve all this stuff. It's a lot of information taken. So, and he's also thinking about like doing a second and third teaching. And we have like the assassin like trying to discern everyone's abilities. They can use Predator. I'm just giving going on quests. Information quests. He suspects like Cell is dead. Is that Cell the big guy? And then the fourth rumbling happens. I don't recall anyone who's doing rumblings. Is it the first prince or is it I don't know. It's a lot of information. I mean, not that that's bad. Well, I don't know. What are your thoughts? I don't know if you can summarize this, clarify it for me. That'd greatly help. I think I'm lost somewhere. I don't know. That should be wild to like darkness coming in to where Karapika is. Yeah. And if you're new, subscribe, like, comment. Thank you for watching, and have a good rest of the day. Bye.